Okay, Mr. Raymond, first question is, are you in favor of Mahoning County Health Board and Youngstown City Health Board consolidating services, even if it means that the Mahoning County Health Board will vacate the building on Westchester Drive in Austintown and move its location in Youngstown?
This on? I have no idea.
There's an honest answer. Mr. Crano, you're next.
Well, I'm not quite sure what we have to do to affect there, but when I was a trustee before, we had a problem with Youngstown taking some of the places of the organizations that were in Austintown. Obviously, I'm absolutely against that. I want them to stay here. They belong here. They've been here all these years. Not only that, I think that I have the connections. I'm not supposed to use that word connections, but connections that can help keep them here.
Mr. Striffler.
I guess I'm kind of on a similar line of Bob, but thinking it through, I don't think that's a good thing for the community. I mean, they provide income to the community. The service has been here, as Mr. Crano has indicated, here for a long time. One of the problems I see with it is the city of Youngstown is going to take everything from the community. It makes it very difficult to even consider a JED. The JED was a big thing here not too many months ago or weeks ago, and I don't think it came over very well to the community. And here's another thorn in the community side.
Mr. Shepis.
I think we had something like this in the mid-90s, 96, with the Bureau of Workmen's Comp. When they left, we lost 200 employees, a tenant, taxpayer. I think those 200 employees, if I'm not mistaken, some went to Youngstown, some went to Trumbull County, Warren maybe. I am not opposed to working with other townships, such as Boardman, with the communication system, and the engineer's office with the roads.
Thank you. Mr. Davis.
I don't know that I can elaborate much more than what has already been said, other than, you know, when the discussions were held with the city of Youngstown in reference to a JED, it was all what was in it for the city of Youngstown, and not what was in it for Austintown. It's time for us to take a look, and when I ran 4 years ago, I ran on the slogan of restoring our reputation, and Austintown has done that. We've got a reputation that we are the place to go. We are the destination location now. That's why the Racino came to Austintown. We need to keep things like this in our community. We need to keep things like the health board in our community. We cannot allow it to leave. If we allow it to leave and go to the city, it's going to be bombarded by, if you merge them, it's going to be bombarded by the city's residents, which lessens what we are able to use. So we need to keep it in our community. We need to make sure we keep a strong hold on what's in Austintown and not allow it to leave.
Thank you. Okay, the next question is, what are some positive things that have happened in Austintown in recent years, and have you personally taken an active role in making these things happen? Mr. Crane,
Well,
I believe.
thank you. There's being the state rep for the longest time, and also being working for the governor. Every time something new happened in Austintown, the question came to me, and I worked very hard, and I think very successfully in getting things done. Austintown is getting bigger because of different reasons. Most of it's because of fracking and the people moving into our community and so on. And I think that that in itself is going to be outstanding, and I certainly am going to take care of that. My problem is that you look at the things that you do day in and day out. There are people who still call me because they think I'm a trustee, people who still call me because they think I'm a state rep. But I will listen to everyone. My accessibility is there. And when I get a call, I work on that particular problem, no matter who it is. Long ago, I promised my wife that when I went into any kind of political office, I would answer every question, I would answer every call, and I think I've done it. And I've tried to help everyone in Austintown at any time with any problem and assist them in furthering the betterment of everything for Austintown people.
Thank you. Mr. Stifler.
As far as the good things that are coming about in Austintown, I can relate back to the Austintown Community Baseball. We basically redid the 6 fields down at Champ Park. We put the fences up, the protective railing. We added to the concession stand. We added a batting barn. Those are things I had direct responsibility with, along with the other members of our board of directors. I'm very big on working as a team because a lot of ideas come from many people. If you think you're the only one with a good idea, I'd have to have you sit back and listen once in a while. As I stated in my opening line, that's what I make a living at. I listen. I pay attention and make sure I understand that we put the community in the best foot, always. Always put it, the opportunities for the community and the direction we need to go in. We need to make sure we handle the money right and take care of the security forces, police forces, and make sure they're always fully funded. So I kind of got off the path there, but basically that's what we're here for, and those are the things I've been associated with.
Thank you.
Can you repeat the question,
Shepis.
please?
Oh, repeat the question. Okay. What are some of the positive things that have happened in Austintown in recent years, and have you personally taken an active role in making these things happen?
There's so many. I like to start with the parks. Tuesday night concerts at the park, the dog park, the splash pad. Bring my daughter there a lot. We were part of the Austintown Community Night Out, where my business donated some entertainment. The Fall Festival, which I'm a member of. Awesometown. Great community event. I'd like to see more economic growth in Austintown. I'd like to do more with our parks, such as Easter egg hunts, Halloween, hay rides, Christmas in the park. The 4th of July event, that was fantastic, despite the weather. Austintown Bounce was a big part of that. I believe our dunk tank raised over $300 for a needy family. Our inflatables gave our children entertainment. Thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Davis.
I'll just touch on a few of the things. One of the things I was adamant about when I became township trustee, and you heard me thank my parents earlier, if it wasn't for them and my daughter giving up of their time, I wouldn't be able to do what I do as township trustee. They give up a lot of their time. But one of the things I was adamant about when I took office was that if there was an event, I'd be there, and I'd be a part of it. Some of the numerous things that I got to be a part of, and the first one I'd like to talk about, one of the biggest things I heard when I ran for office was bring back fireworks. We want fireworks in the community. It was an opportunity for families to gather and create memories. I created many of my childhood memories watching fireworks. I told stories to the news reporters of how I used to tie cans to cars at my friend's house on the 4th of July. Well, I can tell you I was so proud to be the co-chairman of the fireworks committee this year to return fireworks to our community. We spearheaded a campaign that raised over $25,000 to bring fireworks back to Austintown Township. Not only that, but we also had great ideas as a board of trustees. You work as a team being a board, and sometimes it takes a little bit of negotiating to get your idea across, but we negotiated for a splash pad to be brought to this community. It is something that is enjoyed by children. I can't tell you how many times we were out there where the weather was below what I would be on the splash pad, but the kids were in it. They were having a good time. The dog park, what a success that's been. It's a place where people can take their dogs. We were the first in Mahoney County to do it. Our senior center. People, when they ask what my greatest accomplishment is as a township trustee, they often say the Racino. Well, I can tell you, to see the bright, smiling faces of our seniors, That's my greatest accomplishment as township trustee. I'm so proud to have been on that campaign committee to raise the
Time.
funds to bring that.
Mr. Raymond.
Well, I think the thing we have the most to be proud of are the two new schools. If you were there Sunday, you would have been very proud. My personal commitment to the Austintown Touchdown Club, we've raised the most money in the club's history this year. I believe we have over $70,000 now in the club's coffers that we've raised. Sold the most ads. I think we have a lot to be proud of. We help the kids at the school. Another thing that I think's been a positive thing is that the park's been expanded quite a bit over the years. And we've also passed a fire and police levy in the last few years, which I think is positive for this township. So that's about it.
Okay. Yes or no? Do you favor a joint economic development district, JED, in Austintown, which would impose an income tax on employees in Austintown? Explain your position. Mr. Striffler.
My position on the JED, and I think I've already expressed it, my answer was no. It didn't put Austintown in the best position at all. You know, to close the door, though, tightly on anything that will go on in the community, I'm not in favor of that. I'll always have an open door and an open ear for all the other communities to let me know if they have some idea that'll help us reduce any kind of cost that we have within the community. It was already spoken earlier about the roads departments between Austintown, Canfield, and Boardman. They actually paved an additional 1 mile of roads here in Austintown because of that joint venture between the three communities. Also, and it was already discussed, it had to do with the radio for the 911 between Boardman and Austintown. I would imagine most of you know that saved the community about $800,000. I think it's very important that we keep our door open, and whether we agree or disagree with the proposal, we answer with a little bit of dignity. If it's a no, it's just a no, and keep the door open for further discussion. So that's where I sit on the JED. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Sheppes.
Well, I prepared for this one. No. Austintown has had steady growth for many years. Let's not stop that. Howard Township, you know, our valley, finally has some jobs coming our way. And they want to income tax those workers? Then a profit tax on the racino? That would have been a deal breaker right there. Realize Youngstown is going to lose potentially their largest water customer. Penn National is drilling, yes, drilling. And from what I understand, they've hit 5 wells already. And if I'm not mistaken, I've done my homework, they run 2 of their facilities already with well water. Austintown and Boardman have a combined population of 80,000 residents with a total of a $35 million budget. Youngstown has 65,000 residents with a $168 million budget. Where's Youngstown's plan? No, if I wasn't clear.
Thank you. Mr. Davis.
I think everybody knows my answer to this because we've addressed this issue once already. My answer is no as well. Bruce stole some of my thunder. Ms. Hall would be happy to tell you, as she's here today, Penn National chose Austintown because of what the community presented. The community presented a place for them to come and be prosperous, a place where they could create revenue for their company, create revenue for their investors. They did not come here to give those profits and revenue to the city of Youngstown. As Bruce stated, they have been drilling wells, and yes, Bruce, you were correct, you did your homework. They have hit 5 wells. some people seem to think that I've dropped the ball with the jet issue and that I followed other people's leads with this. I can tell you I spoke from my own personal thoughts of what I thought the community felt was important. I feel I have a good pulse of this community. I feel that I understand how you feel. And my thoughts are that our community is against JEDs. And that's why when I voted in executive session to discuss a JED, the answer was no, Youngstown. We don't want a JED. Now, what most of you don't understand or don't know is that Penn National had already made that decision in their initial plans
30
when
seconds.
they had their wells as part of that plan. See, when I walked into that negotiation with the city of Youngstown, I knew what cards I was holding. The city of Youngstown did not know that. And the city of Youngstown presented a plan that favored Youngstown. It did not favor Austintown. So I can tell you I fought for Austintown. And like Mr. Schriffler said, kept an open ear, yet when it doesn't favor our community,
Time.
the answer is no.
Mr. Raymond.
Well, in regard to the Racino JED, I never heard the details of what the JED was going to be about. So I have no opinion on that JED until I see the details. Now, if the details were that they were going to knock 40% off our water surcharge, give us $1 million a year, et cetera, I might be pretty interested in it. But if they're going to tax all our businesses, of course I would not be interested in that. In other words, if it's a good deal, I'm interested. If it is not, I'm not interested. As far as JEDs go in general, they're not a bad thing, but they have to be investigated and they have to be negotiated. You just can't walk away from millions of dollars when it's staring you in the face, but it has to be right for the township. If it's not, no deal. That's it.
Thank you. Mr. Carreno.
Just for the record, the first JED that was offered to Austintown was offered by Youngstown and Mayor Ungaro when I was a trustee with Dave Ditzler. And after we sat and listened to him, we threw him out of the office because the deal was absolutely poor. By the way, I can't help being a teacher. A JED came from Summit County. Akron was annexing all of the townships around it. And it got so bad that the legislatures had to come up with some deal where you could work out a deal between the two. The problem is, it may have worked in some areas in Akron, but it has not worked around here. So the answer is no. I'm for whatever is good for Austintown. But that is, like the rest of the guys here, you leave the door open. When you are in charge, you have to listen to everyone because you cannot assume anything. Perception is not reality. You got to be there and listen and negotiate and not be afraid to negotiate. If it doesn't work, you walk away. That means if it's a TIF, it's any other thing that comes out of any kind of legislation. So my initial answer is no, absolutely. Unless somebody could come up with a brilliant plan that people in Austintown won't have to pay extra
30
taxes
seconds.
and come up with a lot of money here and not hurt the people in Austintown, the answer is no.
Thank you. Next question is sort of along the same lines, and will be for Mr. Shepis first. Did you attend the town hall meeting in May of 2008 in this cafetorium when the Austintown Trustees hosted a community meeting to explain and discuss JEDs in which more than 400 residents and business owners attended?
No, I was not there. But being in business and as a concerned resident, I do recall it. I remember my business partner and I discussing this. We were getting ready to open our indoor facility. I called a sitting trustee. Actually, we did. we called a sitting trustee, discussed the pros and the cons of the JED. I went to the township's website, checked it out, and there was a slideshow. I remember the slideshow. And no. I
Thank
did
you.
not attend, but I did make the call. And if I remember correctly, my opinion is the same as it is now.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Davis.
No, I did not attend the meeting.
Mr. Raymond.
No, I did not attend the meeting.
Mr. Carreno.
Understand, all of us do other things, and we can't be everywhere we want to be. The truth of the matter is, I could give a seminar on JED. I don't have to listen to somebody else.
Mr. Stifler.
2008, was I here? Probably not. Given the time frame, that if I recall, I was on an outage at the plant that I work at, and we work 16-hour shifts, 6 days a week. So I can guarantee I was not here. But if I knew that seminar was going to be held again, I would attend.
Thank you. Next question. Mr. Davis, you're up. How would you or what would you do to better support small businesses or improve things for small businesses or small business owners?
Well, I can tell you, just from firsthand, one of the gentlemen that's running for fiscal officer, Mark Cole, has started something called the Main Street Chamber. The regional chamber, it costs organizations quite a deal of money, businesses, to join that. Mark started that Main Street Chamber where it is actually more reasonable for smaller businesses to join. And as a township trustee, I felt it was important to be a part of that, and I'm a part of the Main Street Chamber because it's a way to help small businesses. I attend to every ribbon cutting, like I said. I go to those businesses. I ask them what I can do to help. I ask them how I could be a partner with them. How can I promote your business? Facebook does wonderful things. How many of you checked in here tonight that you were at the candidates night? I check in at those businesses. I'm an Austintown Township trustee. People get a big kick out of my Fitch Boardman week. I ask people not to shop at Boardman, don't buy gas in Boardman, don't do anything in Boardman the week of Fitch Boardman week. But I can tell you, the other 364 days of the year, I spend my money in Austintown if I can. If I can buy it in Austintown, if I can take my kid to do something, I take him to the bounce around. I take him to the skate zone. Those are small businesses. If I can buy something at a pizza shop such as Westgate Pizza or Fernando's Wedgwood Pizza, I buy pizza there. I
30
solicit those
seconds.
small businesses. I actually had a discussion with the gentleman this morning at a networking group that he said, break the chain. Support your local restaurants and pizzerias. That's how you help small businesses. You attend those businesses, functions, you buy stuff from them, and you tell your friends and family about it. Go there and support them. That's how you do it. Plain and simple.
Thank you. Mr. Raymond.
Well, obviously, you can tell I've supported every restaurant in this township.
You done? We have a technical difficulty upstairs.
Well, obviously, besides the restaurants, it just makes sense to buy from your neighbors. Candy, doctors that you go to, coffee in the morning. You try to deal with the car dealers. If it's a deal, you got to buy it. I mean, you're willing to pay a little bit more, but not a tremendous amount more to deal here. I just think you keep the money in Austintown. It's just common sense.
Thank you. Mr. Carreno?
Part of the explanation of what I do is called economic development. Guess what that is? That's going out and finding companies that are looking for locations, or finding people who are here who have problems, either taxation, finances, or so on. And I know the difference. We have assistants for locating and hiring. There's all kind of state issues. There's all kind of state programs, and I know them. I can help. That's what I do day in and day out. I've already been talking to 2 or 3 different places right now, trying to see if we can get them into Austintown. Some came from the suggestions of my lovely group that works with me. The idea is I know where to find the companies that are looking for places, and I know what they need. I also know what the state offers and what the federal offers, and I'll offer it to them. I also know how to fill out the forms, sometimes huge forms that have to be done. That's what I could do for businesses here. That's what I could do for the Austintown to bring businesses into Austintown. I am a senior citizen, but I am a very active person. And the knowledge that I have on economic development and financing, both public and private, I hate to say it, but I am an expert.
Thank you. Mr. Sifler?
As far as supporting the local businesses, you know, it's obvious that's where you go. You go in and you shop there, and you always, you know, the local restaurants, gas stations, beer store, I mean, everything. That's what you do. The other thing you do when you talk to and not just go in and purchase things, actually talk to them. My wife and I are known for the businesses that we visit, and we talk to them. We know the people that work there personally. We ask them what they have going on in their lives, and so we get to know them intimately. Some of the things that Mr. Carrano has just discussed about some of the grants and things that are offered from the state, as you get in and you learn as a trustee, you know, everybody has their first day. You learn from the state representatives. You make contacts with them. You find out what grants and things that are available, and you work for those businesses. You know, my wife and I have gone into a couple, and one of the statements that was made to me is, I don't think I've ever seen a trustee in here. So I'll make sure that I go to those facilities. I've always done that. That isn't something new. That's something that I've always done, and I will continue to do. So thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Shepis?
As a trustee, come up with a plan where we hold local business forums, get together, let these business owners communicate with each other, see what each other's needs are. As a trustee, listen to them, invite their landlords, property owners. Communication. That's the key to small business. The chamber makes sense. Research state, federal, local funds, grants. Help them out during those forums. Like the guy said, everyone knows who's in small business, restaurants. I eat at your establishments, my family and I. We support local business. I know what that's like, the mom and pop places. That's what I am.